Titanic, 1912. Steel magnate's mistress entertained 4 officers in first-class suite hours before the sinking. On the freezing night of April 14, 1912, as the RMS Titanic glided majestically through the North Atlantic, a secret story was unfolding in the luxurious corridors of first class. Victoria Ashford, a 28-year-old woman known for her stunning beauty, was at the center of one of the best-kept scandals of the ocean liner's maiden voyage. Victoria was not traveling alone by chance. She was the mistress of steel magnate William Thornton, a 56-year-old man who had boarded the Titanic with his legitimate wife, Catherine, occupying an adjacent suite. Thornton had reserved suite B-52, one of the most luxurious on the ship, for Victoria under the pretense that she was his private secretary. You were watching Uncle Thomas's Cabin Channel, the only place where stories are told without filters. Leave your like and comment saying which part of the world you are watching us from. Subscribe to learn more secrets as disturbing as this one. The Titanic was considered the safest and most luxurious ship ever built. At 269 meters in length and with capacity for more than 2,200 people, it represented the pinnacle of British naval engineering. First class was a world apart, with its ornate staircases, sumptuous lounges, and impeccable service that rivaled the finest hotels in Europe. What few knew was that Victoria Ashford had developed a controversial reputation among some crew members. Beautiful, sophisticated, and bored with the limitations imposed by her clandestine relationship, she began to attract the attention of 4 ship officers: Second Officer Richard Blackwood, Third Officer Edmund Sterling, Fourth Officer Thomas Whitmore, and Fifth Officer George Dawson. In the nights before the disaster, Victoria held discreet meetings in her suite, where she served French champagne and imported caviar. The officers, during their time off, visited her under the pretense of checking on the comfort of first-class passengers. These visits became increasingly frequent and prolonged. The crew began to notice the suspicious pattern. Stewards and chambermaids exchanged knowing glances when they saw the uniformed officers heading toward the corridor of Suite B-52. Some older crew members whispered in the corridors, but the ship's rigid hierarchy prevented any formal complaint from being made.
On the afternoon of April 14, hours before the Titanic collided with the fatal iceberg, Victoria organized what would be her boldest encounter. She invited all 4 officers simultaneously to her suite, promising a special celebration of the magnificent voyage. The men, fascinated by her beauty and charm, accepted the reckless invitation. Between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. that fateful night, the 4 officers were present in Suite B-52. Witnesses later reported that laughter and gramophone music could be heard through the thick walls. Victoria served them Scottish whiskey from her private collection and entertained the 4 men over the course of 3 hours. What motivated Victoria to take such risks remains a matter of speculation. Some suggest she was bored with her secret relationship with Thornton and was seeking excitement and danger. Others theorize that she might have been trying to ensure preferential treatment in case of emergency by cultivating relationships with important officers. There was also a darker possibility. Victoria might have been collecting compromising information about the officers to blackmail Thornton, forcing him to leave his wife. The complete truth was never fully revealed, as subsequent events drastically altered the course of that night. At 11:40 p.m., the Titanic collided with an iceberg. The 4 officers who had been in Victoria's suite had to rush to their emergency stations. Guilt and panic overtook them when they realized they had neglected their duties in the crucial hours before the disaster. During the chaotic evacuation, Victoria Ashford secured a place in lifeboat number 6, ironically commanded by Officer George Dawson,
one of the men who had been in her suite hours earlier. William Thornton and his wife Catherine perished in the sinking, along with approximately 1,500 other people. Of the 4 officers involved in the scandal, only Richard Blackwood and George Dawson survived. Both carried the secret for the rest of their lives, never publicly mentioning the events of that afternoon. Victoria disappeared from public life after arriving in New York, changing her name and settling in Chicago. The case only came to light decades later when private letters from a surviving steward were discovered by his granddaughter in 1985. The letters detailed the rumors that circulated among the crew and specifically mentioned the officers and Victoria. The story remained an obscure footnote in the Titanic tragedy, overshadowed by the magnitude of the disaster. It became one of those dark secrets that few knew, a reminder that even in the greatest tragedies, smaller human dramas continue to unfold. Until the next video.